The North American Proving Grounds tournament is well underway, with Week 1 coming to a close just a few days ago and Week 2 scheduled to start on Tuesday, April 6th. This tournament pits the top amateur teams against the best academy teams in a double elimination style bracket that seeks to crown the best team outside of the LCS. Many incredibly talented prospects have made their large-scale debuts in this tournament already. Players such as APA, Tomio, and Shiro, and many others have solidified their places among the absolute best in amateur, while Academy standouts such as Tenacity, Contracts, and Spawn have shown that nerves have not gotten the best of them on this stage. The first week of Proving Grounds has had a number of shocking results where Academy teams were taken down by their amateur counterparts. TSM Academy fell in a 3-game slugfest to Zeus Gaming, EG Prodigy secured a clutch win against Immortals Academy to stay in the upper bracket, and Barrage took down Team Liquid Academy in a relatively one-sided 2-0 affair. While I would love to create content surrounding all three matches, as well as the wildcard near upset, there's already been a plethora of streamed and written content surrounding these games by talented people within the amateur space. This video will be focused on breaking down how Barrage was able to swiftly eliminate Team Liquid Academy from the upper bracket despite the seemingly large gap between the two teams going into the tournament. Let's get started. At the conclusion of Champion Select for Game 1 of the series between Barrage and Team Liquid Academy, both teams have unique yet slightly similar compositions. Team Liquid Academy's goal in the early game is to force plays around the bottom side of the map, while simultaneously protecting Aatrox from potential dives or freezes in the top lane. Our Mao will look to utilize Nautilus's crowd control and set up to force skirmishes towards the bottom side of the map and disrupt the early game for Barrage. Barrage, on the other hand, want to scale up in this game. Fnatic wants to reach level 6 to gain access to Impale. Before that, he mostly wants to help defend his laners and potentially countergank our Mao towards the bottom side of the map if necessary. In addition, plays can be made towards the top side of the map if it is clear that our Mao is unable to assist Jenkins with a countergank. If Barrage can reach 2 or 3 items without falling too far behind, the game shifts heavily in their favor. Now that expectations have been set for both teams, it is time to dive onto the Rift and examine how Barrage was able to get off on the right foot this series. Game 1 sees both junglers pathing towards the bottom side of the map. As we established earlier, this makes sense for a number of reasons. Our Mao wants to play around and potentially snowball his Samira and Nautilus as they are likely to get outscaled in later teamfights by Jinx and Thresh. However, if Yeon can secure a kill or two in a subsequent CS lead, Team Liquid Academy looks much more poised to transition smoothly from the mid to late game. For the side of Barrage, Fnatic knows that if he starts on the top side of the map, his bottom lane can begin to establish priority and hopefully be in a position to contest the Scuttle Crab when it spawns at around the 315 mark. Due to the nature of how range versus melee matchups typically work out in the bottom lane, Jinx and Thresh are able to control the wave and begin a slow push into the side of Team Liquid Academy. Because Barrage's first objective of the game is to secure the bottom side Scuttle Crab, all members of the team understand their role and what must be done to ensure that that play is safe. APA places a ward towards the bottom side of mid at around the 230 mark to spot one river entrance, while Winter and Gorica ward the bottom tribush to spot the other river entrance. Skarner opts to skimp his Gromp camp in order to make it into the river in time, which syncs up beautifully with Gorica and Winter crashing the bottom wave and having the potential of supporting Skarner in the bottom river. Traditionally, this play translates into a double crab. However, Harry and Jenkins salvage our Mao's early game by establishing priority and control within their lanes and allowing him to contest the top Scuttle Crab. First blood goes to Barrage off a beautiful top gank executed by Fnatic and Piecake Lord. This play was set up long in advance, however. Camille spent her priority window around the 3-minute mark, clearing the Scryer's Bloom and setting up a ward on Volibear's Gromp camp. This confirmed that Volibear started on the top side of the map and also later spots him when his Gromp respawns. APA placed a ward towards the bottom side of mid at around the 430 mark, knowing that Volibear's Raptors are soon to respawn and that he will likely be in the area. The knowledge gained from these two wards allow Fnatic to make the fully informed decision to gank top, knowing that the only potential responses from Team Liquid Academy are either an invade on the bottom side of the map or a 5-minute dragon. However, both of these potential counterplays are nullified by the priority established in bottom lane from Gorica and Winter, solidifying this as a net positive trade for the side of Barrage. Things start getting rough for Barrage in this early game when Pie Cake Lord fails a freeze attempt at the 5:30 mark and ends up having his wave slowly push into the enemy side of the map. This happens at the same time that Fnatic revisits the bottom side to clear his camps and potentially gank bottom. Pie Cake Lord is killed for overextending and attempting to stop this freeze from happening. Fnatic could have ran straight towards top in an attempt to counter this play. However, this is pretty risky due to the fact that there is zero guaranteed information that this play is coming from Team Liquid Academy. The safer play would likely be to allow Jenkins to hold a temporary freeze and either visit top lane soon after a rotation of camps, or simply trade the dragon on the opposite side of the map. Barrage stretched themselves too thin, and the gold lead is now heavily in Team Liquid Academy's favor. Additionally, a risky dragon attempt by Fnatic at around the 9:15 mark leads to Team Liquid Academy collapsing in on him and ultimately securing the dragon for themselves, solidifying their relatively solid early hold on this match. Just a couple minutes later, Ayla finds a perfect engage onto Gorica without Winter in position to lantern him to safety. Jenkins teleports down to the play to secure the kill onto Jinx, all while Armao finds a wonderful gank in the mid lane to secure yet another kill for Team Liquid Academy in this early game. After Jenkins teleports into the bottom side of the map, Barrage realizes that Team Liquid Academy is first on the move towards Rift Herald and they must make a decision. They can either opt to match numbers at the Rift Herald and fight Team Liquid Academy, or look for a counterplay on the other side of the map. Not wanting to risk overcommitting to the Herald, Barrage opts to shift their entire team towards the bottom side of the map and dives Jenkins under his tier 1 tower. This sort of play keeps Barrage competitive within the match. Had they not moved to do this so quickly and force a counterplay, it's likely that Team Liquid Academy would have secured the Herald, dove PCL on the top side, and secured the first tower of the game regardless of Barrage rotating members upwards. This is Barrage making the best out of a bad situation, which is incredibly impressive coming from an amateur squad against one of the best Academy teams. Barrage start to regain their footing off an absolutely stunning combo between Fnatic and Winter that leads to a pick onto Yeon right before the spawn of the second dragon of the match. This pick secures Barrage the second dragon, while PCL is safely farming towards the top side of the map. This is incredibly influential because it allows the carries of Barrage to continue to scale without the threat of soul point at any time soon. Team Liquid Academy re-established control in the game when Barrage overextends for a pick onto the tanky Armao, funneling directly into a corridor allowing Harry to line up a beautiful 3-man shockwave. Ayla finds the re-engage onto Fnatic while Jenkins comes in from the top side of the fight to wreak havoc on PCL and the rest of Barrage. At this point, Team Liquid Academy's coordination and teamfighting prowess seems like too much for Barrage to handle. They have managed to obtain a sizable gold lead as well as a stranglehold on the map moving into the mid-game. The control for Team Liquid Academy is short-lived, however. A small skirmish in the mid lane between Harry and the bottom lane of Barrage leads to a 1-for-1 trade. However, this proves advantageous for Barrage, with allowing Gorica to secure a shutdown onto the Orianna. In addition, Harry's death is not respected by the side of Team Liquid Academy, who march directly towards the Ocean Dragon, which is soon to spawn. Fnatic finds a beautiful pick onto Ayla with the Impale. Pie Cake Lord finds a beautiful flank angle through utilizing his teleport, all while APA and Gorica rain hell from the backlines onto Barrage during this intense river skirmish. This fight secures Baron for Barrage, closing the gold lead from nearly 4,000 to only a few hundred. Had Harry simply respected Gorica and Winter and played more around his team, this would have undoubtedly been Dragon over the side of Team Liquid Academy and a further snowball of their early game dominance. With the fourth dragon of the game soon to spawn, Barrage looks to set up in Team Liquid Academy's bottom side of the jungle. This objective control and denial is incredibly important because in order for champions like Camille and Skarner to function to their full capacities, Barrage needs to look for picks and allow PCL to look for creative flank angles through utilizing his teleport. However, Team Liquid Academy stretches themselves too thin yet again. Armao, Ayla, and Harry look to secure visions and retake control of the bottom side jungle, while meanwhile, Yeon shows himself in the mid lane attempting to farm the wave and protect the mid lane tier 2 tower. Fnatic finds an amazing flank to get directly on top of Yeon, baiting the QSS out with the initial stun and securing the kill with the subsequent impale. This breaks out into a full-on brawl, with PCL diving out of the back line to secure the kill onto Harry, while the rest of his squad peel and fend off Jenkins. Armao is forced to flash on the outskirts of the fight, and Barrage uses this momentum to secure the middle inhibitor as well as Ocean Dragon. the gold lead is now firmly in Barrage's favor, but the match is still incredibly close. Likely feeling the pressure from the momentum gained from Barrage in their last few plays, Team Liquid Academy sets up a death brush near the mid lane once Baron respawns. Knowing that Barrage is likely to go push out the mid lane and look for an engage, Yeon plays the role of bait and Fnatic looks for an engage through using Turbo Chem Tank. However, Team Liquid Academy flubs the engage and are unable to get the fight started in any meaningful manner. Ayla's hook hits the minion directly in front of him, while Jenkins' initial engage is completely neutralized and kited by Gorica and company. With the main frontline for Team Liquid Academy now dead and Gorica having resets on Jinx, Barrage is able to eliminate 3 members of Team Liquid Academy and move into the base and ultimately secure Game 1 for the side of Barrage. Going into Game 2, it is clear that Barrage is able to match and even exceed the mid and late game decision making and team fighting from the side of Team Liquid Academy. However, Barrage still struggled in the early game and had some questionable engages and fights that led to Team Liquid Academy being in a strong position at various points throughout the match. Let's dive into the draft for Game 2. Both teams remain on the same side of the rift for this game, which causes some priority shifts in terms of picks and bans. Barrage takes away the Udyr and the Hecarim from Armao as a response to the Skarner ban from Team Liquid Academy, resulting in Armao opting to pick up the first pick Olaf. Fnatic matches this comfortably with his Lilia, and Jinx is picked up to secure a late game carry for Gorica. Yeon and Ayla choose to counter a probable Jinx Thresh with Senna and Tahm Kench, an oppressive and neutralizing bot lane that seeks to dominate the early game while simultaneously scaling into late game behemoths. However, the most exciting and questionable part of this draft is definitely Team Liquid's Academy's decision to draft Kassadin for Harry. In a vacuum, Kassadin does very well into the mid-jungle combination that Barrage has drafted. However, in actuality, he is unlikely to exert any pressure during the early stages of this match, which is where Olaf needs it most. Let's establish some goals for both teams going into this match. Team Liquid Academy's objective in this game is to allow their mid and bot lane to scale through utilizing the early power of Olaf to serve as a bridge to the later portions of the game. If Olaf is able to play around his bottom lane's control and priority and match or force ganks down there, Team Liquid Academy can allow Senna and Kassadin to scale with relative ease and dominate in later team fights. However, their team composition struggles with engage when exposed to mid or late game fights on open terrain. As a result, Team Liquid Academy needs to either find creative flanks with Tahm Kench's Abyssal Voyage, or through utilizing vision control and teleporting on the flank with either Harry or Jenkins. On the other hand, Barrage wants to exert pressure towards the mid lane and top lane in hopes that they are able to secure a large gold lead in the form of gold, dragons, towers, etc. before the Kassadin and Senna can reach the late game. Fnatic will attempt to play around both Piecake Lord and APA in the early stages of this game, and potentially look towards the bottom lane if there is a guaranteed numbers advantage through either priority or teleports. Let's get started with the game. Early wards from Barrage spot Olaf starting on his Raptor camp, while the start from Fnatic is unspotted but likely inferred. This information allows Fnatic to make the incredibly intelligent read to counter jungle Armao's blue buff based on the priority secured in both mid and top lane. If Fnatic had placed this ward just a few seconds earlier, this likely would have translated into a kill on Armao as well as counter jungling his top side. After this, Fnatic makes yet another beautiful read as he skips the Gromp camp and opts to zone Armao from contesting his blue side jungle. This cuts Olaf off from the majority of potential counterplays and sets up for the subsequent Raptor invade. Through utilizing their early mid priority, Fnatic trades 1-for-1 with Armao but secures a 1-camp advantage as well as first blood gold for the side of Barrage. In addition, he is able to come back onto the map with 5 camps to clear, while Armao will only have 2 for the time being. Barrage's main mistake in this game is when they make an aggressive play in the top lane in an attempt to dive or zone Jenkins from the wave. However, they do not respect the option of Harry teleporting, and it leads to Team Liquid Academy securing a 2-kill lead and gaining their footing in a previously rocky early game. After an extensive trade in the bottom lane, Harry finds a window to assist Yeon and Ayla and almost grabs 2 kills for himself. However, Winter saves the day and manages to trade 1-for-1, but the early game is still looking pretty dire for the side of Barrage, with Harry getting so far ahead on Kassadin. Barrage attempts to salvage their early game through using their bottom lane's priority to find a window to take the first dragon of the game, giving them some level of comfort entering the mid game being up 1 dragon to 0. However, our Mao reads this and counters with Rift Herald intelligently on the other side of the map. Another heavy trade in the bottom lane leads to Barrage fully committing to the play, burning Piecake Lord's teleport and shifting Fnatic down towards the bottom side of the map. Winter saves Gorica with a well-placed lantern while PCL and Fnatic demolish the bottom lane of Team Liquid Academy. Jenkins manages to take down one person with him, but overall the play heavily favors the side of Barrage and shifts the gold lead to essentially even. It is really strange seeing such a seasoned Academy roster making such egregious errors. In the best case scenario, the fight is 4 versus 3 with the advantage favoring the side of Barrage. Harry has no teleport and no ability to secure mid priority, and our Mao was busy countering the Rift Herald and clearing his camps on the top side of the map. Team Liquid Academy throws their early lead with a simple yet disastrous error. Moving into the mid game, both teams set up to contest the second dragon of the game, with Team Liquid Academy securing river control first. The problem with TLA's positioning in this moment is that their composition struggles to find engages in open spaces such as the river. Because of this, Barrage is able to freely walk into the river despite being late to the dragon spawn, and they start up the Drake themselves. Team Liquid Academy steal away the dragon from Barrage, however Barrage comes away with a 1-kill advantage and burn the flash off of 3 Team Liquid Academy members. This trade is okay for Barrage because it funnels more gold into the likes of APA, Gorica, and Piecake Lord, who are all set up to succeed as the game continues. Fast forwarding through a few minutes of trading waves back and forth, the gold remains almost exactly even between the two teams. Barrage used their recently acquired Rift Herald to secure Team Liquid Academy's mid lane Tier 1 tower, as well as control over the Ocean Dragon. Team Liquid Academy decided to give up this dragon in an attempt to funnel more golden XP into the Kassadin, Senna, and Aatrox moving towards the late game. Team Liquid Academy's only counterplay to this was a potential dive onto the top side of the map towards PCL. Knowing this, Winter preemptively moves to protect PCL in positions to be able to lantern him away and cover any potential aggressive plays from our Mao in the side of Team Liquid Academy. With the only objective on the map being Baron for the next 4 minutes, Barrage set their sights on preparing Vision for a potential Baron start to accelerate the mid-game as to not allow Kassadin to reach level 16. A fight breaks out in the topside river when Winter lands a well-placed death sentence onto our Mao, chunking him to half health before the brawl even fully begins. Fnatic uses this opportunity to flash forward and land a 2-man lilting lullaby onto Yeon and Ayla. However, this is completely nullified through both the cleanse on Ayla and the dotting shadow from Yeon. Jenkins sees his chance for a beautiful re-engage onto the majority of Barrage members, landing a massive Darkened Blade onto 4 enemies. However, this extension forward from our Mao and Jenkins leaves Ayla and Yeon vulnerable to a flank from Piecake Lord onto a previously placed ward in the blue side jungle. Gorica and Winter, as well as APA, deal with Harry and our Mao, while Jenkins desperately retreats in a futile attempt to save Yeon. At the conclusion of the fight, only Ayla stands for the side of Team Liquid Academy, while Barrage have 3 members still alive that are ready to secure the Baron and move into the later stages of this game. This fight was won through both incredible team play and precise decision-making from Barrage. Everyone understood their role in this fight and they played it to perfection, resulting in a 4-for-2 trade, Baron, and the gold lead. Barrage uses this Baron buff to gain control of the map, take down the enemy Tier 2 tower in the bottom lane, and secure Ocean Soul Point moving into the later stages of the game. While Barrage set themselves up to contest the Baron that is soon to spawn, Harry desperately tries to clear the top wave in hopes of reaching level 16 and hitting the fabled Kassadin late game power spike. However, a stunning Jinx rocket combined with a perfect Everfrost from APA stops Harry's recall and teleport and gives Barrage a 1-man advantage going into the Baron spawn. This causes Jenkins to shift towards the mid lane to re-establish control for Team Liquid Academy and not cede the Baron area. However, Fnatic attempts to punish this with a Flash plus Lilting Lullaby combination onto 3 members of Team Liquid Academy. The main aspect to note in this exchange is that Fnatic trades his Flash for Yeon's Flash right before the spawn of Ocean Soul. Due to late recalls from the side of Barrage, they opt to cede control of the bottom river and trade the Ocean Dragon for the Baron that has just spawned on the opposite side of the map. This is an incredibly smart call due to the fact that the only way Team Liquid Academy can find and engage is through creating a pocket of vision control and utilizing those vision controls to find flanks with Jenkins and Harry. However, Team Liquid Academy does not want to trade one dragon for the Baron buff and charges through the mid lane with the hopes of stopping Barrage in their tracks. Taking stock of this fight, The carries on Barrage are both sitting up at approximately 3.5 completed items compared to their counterparts having 3.5 and 2 completed items respectively. In addition, Team Liquid Academy has no way to achieve backline access in this position without utilizing Tahm Kench's ultimate to reposition Jenkins or Harry towards the other side of the river, which risks Yeon being isolated. As a result, Team Liquid Academy charges headfirst into Barrage, who have set a trap in the Pixel Brush. APA and Gorka are able to freely hit due to Harry not finding a window to get on top of them, leading to Barrage securing a 4-for-1 teamfight and charging down the mid lane to end the game soon after. In conclusion, this series was an absolutely pivotal win for the players and staff of Barrage Esports. It serves as validation that their late qualification to Proving Grounds was not a sign of weakness, but instead merely unfortunate circumstances on a number of separate occasions. Not only that, but it means that Barrage maintains their spot in the upper bracket and has a date with no org during Week 2 of Proving Grounds. While Team Liquid Academy certainly got upset this series, it is pivotal that they are not written off during their lower bracket run, due to the incredible high ceiling this team has. Tune into Week 2's matches to see if any other amateur teams can complete the Cinderella story and make a deep run into this bracket.